This is my Audi S3. Guys, just to let you know in advance, I will be comparing this to the old AV shape quite a lot because I've owned a few, so are my friends. I've got a lot of experience sitting in them, driving them, and they're one of my favourite hatches, the S3 and the RS3. So for me, this car has a lot to live up to. Let's give you a nice little walk around. You know what, this shape, when it first came out in 2020, I was not a fan at all, but they slowly have been growing on me, especially with this colour. I've seen a few blacked out ones that look nice, and there's like this dark purple. I don't know if it's Merlin or velvet purple, but it looks really good on this shape. But some angles, I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't look amazing. There's a few awkward angles. It's not as refined as the AV, nor is it as aggressive looking, but I still think it's pretty nice, especially with a couple of mods. And the blacked out bits against the blue does set you off quite a bit. But let me know what you think. Okay, let's get into the spec. Obviously we got the turbo blue, the 19-inch trapezoid wheels, and my favorite thing about these, and one of the main things I was looking for when I went to go buy one, is these headlights. Even after about a year and a half of ownership, every time I unlock this car, this animation gets me. Like, I love it. Like, it's a bit childish and a bit gimmicky, but it really is fun. But yeah, next we've got our mods. Got the Maxton side skirt, these roof bars, the wind deflectors, and of course the Maxton diffuser. That is a must-have though, because the stock diffuser is so plain and bland. It's like something you get off a SE3, I think. So this is a must-have. The side skirts, they add a little to the side profile, but they're not a must-have in my opinion. And then we've got the famous EA888 that we're all familiar with at this point. It's pushing at 310 from stock in this, but obviously we've got our custom legal CATs and OPF set up with the stage 1, so we're about 380 brake, I think it is. I haven't had it dynoed. Guys, overall this interior is quite a nice place to be. They've done a great job visually. The screens are a great size. The way this cockpit is angled towards you, like, is really nice. These Euro style vents, like, it feels like quite a special place to be visually, but quality wise it's not so great for me anyway. Like, I'm not very happy with it. The outgoing car was much better. Like, you didn't get as many squeaks, there were as many hard plastics. It just felt like a much better place. Like, I mean, you just, like, I'm just lightly, like, you lightly touch anything, you hear all these squeaks, and you've got all these hard scratchy plastics everywhere. Like, you can tell they put it together like on the cheap, like trying to, you know, save a bit of money, but visually it looks good. One of my favorite things they've done with this interior is the fact that you get these super sport seats from standard, whereas if you look at the outgoing car, you got these A3 style SE looking seats unless you spec'd up the super sports. So I think this is a great job they've done with these. I mean, they look really good as well. In terms of options, I've got the ambient lighting, got the B&O speakers, which are a must-have because standard speakers are terrible. And this ambient lighting is not bad. It's like a little thin strip that runs around the front and the back of the car. Like, it looks good, but it's not on par with the 835. Like, if you've sat in one of those, that interior is a special place to be sat in. Like, I was lucky enough to have both at the same time, and I'll be honest, like, there's a night and day difference. Sitting in that Mercedes, like, you genuinely feel like you're sat in something special. It's an amazing interior. But I mean, this isn't a bad place to be as well, but it just isn't at that same level for me anyway. Because that's enough of me just being sat here. Let's take it for a spin and talk about how she drives. So guys, I got my back seats down, so I'm hoping you can pick up a bit more noise, because it does make a big difference. Yeah, one thing about these, they don't sound as good as the old shape. Obviously that's due to regulations and the exhaust setup, the OPF filters and whatnot. That can't be helped, but I mean, even with the straight pipe, they're not the best sounding. But that's how these cars are set up. You know what, they're a lot more grown up. They don't feel as boy racerish or as much of a toy as the old AV shape used to, which is a bit of a letdown in my opinion, because that's one of the main reasons why you want one of these. I mean, if you wanted a grown up car, you'd go for like an S5, an S4. You know, that's a better option if you want something more mature. That's not what these cars were intended for, like, in my opinion. Like, if you drive an AV compared to one of these, there's a night and day difference. Like, that car genuinely, even with just a res delete, it feels like you're driving like a toy. It's like a proper, like, a sport car. This, it just feels like a regular car that's just a bit quick. I mean, without, if you haven't had the exhaust on, it genuinely just feels like a normal A3 that's got like a remap, like, you know, it's a little quick. Now, one thing about these though, even from stock, they're very quick. You really feel the power, like it puts it down like it's nothing, especially if you got a good set of tires. You're putting that power down. And then if you got a stage 1, I'm gonna be honest with you, this car is rapid. Yeah, like you really feel the power. Like I've smoked, I'm not gonna lie, I've smoked 835s, Golf Rs, M135s, 4Es, but obviously presumably they were stock. I feel like a stage 1 140 would put some pressure on this. Like, it would keep up. I don't know if it'd beat it, but I feel like it would definitely keep up easily. But yeah, it's a very fun car. Like, I'm not going to deny that it's very fun. Like, as mature and grown up as it is, it also has that fun aspect, especially if you got if you got a decat, if you got a remap on it. Like, it really changes up. It gives it a bit of that character that's missing from stock. I mean, otherwise, as a general day-to-day car, if you're looking to daily one of these, you can't go wrong. It really does feel like an A3 when you're in D and you're just cruising along about 20, 30. It really feels like a normal car. Like, it can do the mileage, you can do the motorway run. It's pretty much an A3 when you want it to be. The only thing is though, if you got the 19s like I do, the ride quality is a bit rough. Like, you feel every bump. You feel like if you happen to go through a pothole, you're really gonna feel it. Like, I mean, the seats are very comfortable, but those wheels make a big difference. So if you're looking to daily it and do a lot of mileage, you know, I would recommend going to the 18 inches maybe. Because one major thing I want to talk about is the price point on these. I mean, they've come down. You can get a 70 plate between 25 to 30k now with a tiny bit of spec. So that leads me to my point. I still think the 8V is a better car, and if your budget is up to around 30k and you're not too fussed about running costs, I would rather advise you buy an RS3, a 2017 18 plate Daza engine RS3. You'll be so much happier. The only thing is your running costs will be, I'll be honest, near enough double. They drink a lot more petrol, the insurance is going to be more, all of that, but that car puts a smile on your face every single time you drive it. But obviously, if you're looking for a proper daily that's not going to run you too much, this is a great option. But I'd still advise you look at a 17-18 plate S3. Like, they're a much better car in my opinion, everything about them. Unless you care about having the newest model or like the latest tech, then obviously this is a better car for you. But if you want a car that's fun and that can do it all, the 18-19 plate S3, the AV, is the car to go for, like, without a doubt. I mean, if you still want something modern, I mean, the 835 is a great car. Like, I had both at the same time, like I said earlier, but that was the car that I was jumping into. I was grabbing the keys to that car more than this, like, pretty much every single time. It's something about it, it's a lot more fun. It's not as quick, but it's just much more fun, and the interior is 10 times better. So, like, look at those as an option as well. The only thing is you're going to run into reliability issues. They've got, you know, the common head gasket issues. The turbos aren't as reliable. The diffs, there are problems as well. So if you're going to look at one of those, ideally a newer one that's still in warranty is what you need to be looking at. This car's been very reliable. That's one thing with VW Audi Group. You're going to get reliability. Like, the odds of your car messing up, like if you end up with a lemon, or, like, you know, if it's been abused in the past, that can't be helped. But these cars in general, like, they don't go wrong. Like, the way I've taken care of this and driven it, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes well past 100,000 miles. So guys, that's my S3. Hope I wasn't too negative, but I really was comparing it a lot to the AV because that is, like I said, one of my favorite hatches of all time. Like, it does everything so well. So like, this car did have a lot to live up to for me, but it's not a bad car by any means. Like, it's still fun. It's still a fun car to drive, and like, it looks great, so I can't really fault it too much. But yeah, that's the end of the video, and I'm going to leave you guys with a little downshift.